Alright, it should be live. I'll put the intro scene. What is good, y'all? What is good? Welcome to the first and ever Fantasy Sports Podcast Baseball Edition. That is right. The MLB is finally here. Opening day is today, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you, there is one person in this world that is beyond thrilled about this day. And that's the guy right here beside me. That man is a baseball fanatic, bro.
I love baseball. I love everything about baseball.
How you feeling, Newport? How you feeling about today?
It's opening day. I called Samantha and asked her where my present was because it's opening day. It's a holiday, and she said it must have got lost in the mail. So I'm a little upset, but it's a holiday for us baseball people. This is a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Beautiful games. If you watch any of the games, it's a great day of games. So what we're going to do today on this show is we're going to go through ESPN's average draft positions, and we're going to do like a 10-round draft, basically. So players 1 through 10, that's round 1. Players 11 through 20, that's round 2. And we're going to give you our favorite pick and our least favorite pick out of that 10 per round, meaning round 2, who should you go for in round 2? Who's the best value in round 2? Who's the worst value? Who do you stay away from in that round? And then in the very end of the show, we'll round it out with just talking about some of the top rookies, some of the top rookie prospects, and whether or not we think they're going to be in the MLB, make a difference. So pretty excited about it. So we'll jump right in. Can you pull up the first 10 on the screen?
Yes, I can. It should be up right now.
Perfect. So this is the first round of your fantasy draft. Who do you think is the best value? Let's have you go first. Who do you think is the best value of round 1?
Well, a lot of people, would say Shohei, right? With being on both sides of the ball. Well, this year that is not going to be the case. And unfortunately, with that situation going on currently with him, we don't even know about that. So the guy that I would say would be the best value overall between these top 10 is probably the guy that's sitting at number 1, Ronald Acuna Jr. I just can't get enough of that, man. That dude is unreal. He had a phenomenal year last year, and I truly think that he can have a better year this year. But we'll find out.
I love it. I think you can't go wrong with Ronald Acuna.
Correct.
You're the 1-1. Congratulations.
Yep.
However, if you're not the 1-1, if you have any other choice except 1-1, regardless of whether you're on ESPN, Yahoo Sports, I think the pick is Mookie Betts. I picked up Mookie Betts in every single one of my drafts, all of them, regardless of my position. In ESPN, he falls to 3 sometimes. You can see his average draft position is 3.3 on the ADP on ESPN's website right there. Average pick 3.3.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, he's had 3 games because they started the season opener in Seoul, South Korea. In those games, he's had 4 fantasy points, 17 fantasy points, and 10 fantasy points, and has 2 home runs and 7 hits. He, other than Ronald Acuna, is the best all-around player, and he plays second base. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Best value for me. And we'll jump right into worst value for these top 10.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. I think I'm going to have to go with Juan Soto.
Interesting.
Juan Soto's being drafted 5.1 in total across all platforms. But when you see him on ESPN, he's ranked at 2. So when you open up your app on draft day, you'll see him sitting at 2. So a lot of people will take him at 2. If you watch him play in spring training, he actually got sent home one of the games because he couldn't seem like he could even find the ball. He struggles. The only thing that's on his side is that he hits a lot of pop-ups, and in Yankee Stadium, right field is very short. So those pop-ups that he's used to hitting might go over. But last year he hit like 276 or something like that. Just wasn't super impressed. He had an all right season. To be drafted at number 2 overall, not for me.
Yeah.
I'll pick him up 10th, 12th, but not 5.1 for me.
Yeah, and my pick, I would probably say Kyle Tucker, sitting at 6. I don't believe he is a 6.
Good pick.
I mean, I had him last year, and he did all right for me, but it's not one of those guys that are going to score you tons of points every single game. I mean, once again, I have him this year as well, and today he just, it's opening day, but it's all right. He had just a game today as well, so that's the guy that I'd probably out of this list probably just say I don't think he belongs there.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump into round 2.
Round two.
I'll go ahead and start this one. So who do I think is the best value in round 2? I give that to 2 people, but I'll start with my first. That is Bobby Witt Jr. At shortstop. Shortstop is not a deep position. It really isn't. When we were kids, shortstop was the best player on the field.
Yep.
Not that deep anymore. But Bobby Witt Jr. has all of the makings to be the best player in the MLB. He's on a horrible team, but even with that, he had 470-something fantasy points last year. Crazy amounts of stolen bases he's going to get you every year. With that being said, if Fernando Tatis makes it a whole season, I think he's 1 of 1 value. But
yeah.
I'm not going to say his value's there right now because I don't believe he can make it a full season, and I think he's going to take a little bit more steroids. So, who do you like on this?
Yeah, the guy I'd pick is Yordan Alvarez. I mean, that's just a kind of a given for me.
You got him in your draft.
I got him in the draft this year, and I was super excited. He already performed pretty well for me today. That dude he's a tank. He destroys the ball. He sees the ball real well. And
Best hitter in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want a for sure point getter on your team, for sure pick him up if he's still available. But just be a heads up, he will go very quickly in the draft, which he should be. Honestly, I think he should have been on the other page. I think he has better performances than Kyle Tucker.
And I will say, Shohei Ohtani is being ranked at average draft positions 11.2, and Jordan's is 14.5. With Shohei only being a hitter this year, I think he has the ability to be the best DH, but I think that goes to Yordan Alvarez. I don't see how Yordan Alvarez is not taken higher than Shohei at this point this year without him pitching.
Correct.
So I find that a little weird. But least favorite pick of these, I'm gonna go with Luis Castillo.
Oh, okay.
Mariners ballpark is just it's not hitter friendly and it's not pitcher friendly. I don't know. There's not a lot that happens there. And Luis Castillo is a good pitcher, but he's old now. And so 18.7. I don't like to grab a lot of pitchers super early. I don't, especially with how last year was. Last year's all the aces, even Garrett Cole, they're not getting those high teens, 20s every outing. They might pull you 3 or 4. So I don't think they're worth that high value up front. So yeah, I'd let Luis Castillo fall to round 3, 4 maybe for me. So
yeah, this one's kind of difficult for me because a lot of these guys are really good. But if I had to pick someone out of this list, it would probably be Marcus Semien. I don't like that pick just because I like him as a player. But if I'm putting him up against all these other players on this list, it would probably be him. I feel like he's a very consistent player for fantasy standpoints. But when I say consistent, I mean 2-3 points, not a lot, not like big numbers. So he will give you average points throughout each week. But I feel like in this list, he should have been maybe just a little bit lower.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. And then we can move on to round 3.
Yep. Already there.
Third round of the draft. Perfect. I just want to say, first off, I have Vladimir Guerrero on my team, and he hit a doink. He went 1 for 5, but that one was a doink.
Yep.
My favorite of this list is my favorite player in baseball, and that is new. That is new. My old favorite player in baseball was Jorge Soler.
Yep.
But since he moved to the Giants, I cannot give him that. I hate the Giants. So that new title belongs to Mr. Adley Rutschman,
There it is.
the best catcher in baseball, the best catcher we've seen in a long time. He got 8 fantasy points today, 3 runs, 2 RBIs, went 2 for 4. Guy's a beast, and he gets base hits like it's candy. So honestly, I think his value is much higher than any other catcher. I don't think it's close. I think second for me is William Contreras, one of the only Air Jordan players in the league, by the way, who's super cool. But I think the gap between those two is ridiculous. And so I think the value you get from Adley Rutschman is so much higher than everybody else on this list.
Yeah, my guy, I'm going to have to pick him because I love the man. Corey Seager. Had him last year, came in towards the middle to the end of the season and helped me quite a bit. I feel like he will have a pretty solid year once again this year. And honestly, if I had to do these results, I'd put him and Marcus Semien and flip-flop them. But yeah, I think Corey Seager is a great shortstop. I think one of the best better shortstops in the league. And I would definitely pick him up if you need a shortstop as soon as possible.
Sweet. I agree. Corey Seager's amazing.
I'll real quick, I'll give you my one I don't like on this list first. How about that?
Yeah.
And Trey Turner. You're probably wondering. Yep, I was gonna say
last year?
Yep, just because of last year, man. He did not perform last year. I mean, I know
got
you
the bag and said see ya.
Yep, and I know you were absolutely pissed off about that one.
Now, towards the end of the year, though, after
Yeah.
he had his baby, the man went up.
That's
He
true.
was getting 7 points a game, but that was far too late in the season for anybody. He was on waivers most of the time,
Yep.
late season last year, and you could get Trey Turner for cheap.
Yeah, he's the type of player that he has to prove it again this year in order to pick him up again.
I get that. I feel that. I just want to say one quick thing before I say my negative. Zach Gallen might be one of the earliest pitchers that I'll take.
Yeah.
Zach Gallen is awesome. I believe in Zach Gallen. And then secondly, Ozzie Albies. I believe in Ozzie Albies like crazy as a second baseman. Remember last year I tried to trade someone for Ozzie Albies, and they were like, "Dude, Ozzie Albies sucks."
Yep.
I'm like, you're high. But no, my least favorite pick on here, probably not surprised, Logan Webb. The technical ace for the San Francisco Giants since adding Snell. I think they put Snell at 2, which I think is highly disrespectful for someone that just won the Cy Young last year. But Logan Webb, I don't see it. Okay, I just don't see it. I had him last year on one of my teams, and it was a super frustrating year. He'd get negatives every once in a while, and I got rid of him after a while because he ended up screwing my season. I can't keep with the inconsistency, especially at that Giants park. I can't do it. So that's my least favorite.
Yep. Agreed. Can move on.
Round 4. You want to start this one?
Yeah. I'll start it off actually. How about that? Number 1, man, I really don't want to say this, but I'm going to, is Jose Altuve. That is I as a player, I think he is a great player, but as a fan, I am not a fan. But I got to give where credit is due. He's performed the last few years really well in fantasy. Unfortunately, I have him on my team this year. Unfortunately, he didn't do too hot today. He went 1 for 5, I believe, with 2 Ks. So -1 point today. But knock the rust off. But yeah, I'd put him as one of my tops. It is between him and Pete Alonso, but Jose will definitely be a good pickup for you guys for second base.
Sweet.
What you got?
This one, I'm split between 2, and there's a reason again. So first off, I'm going to say Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles. You see my hat. I saw it in the beginning of the video.
Yep.
Super excited about the Orioles this year. Amazing opening day. Couldn't have gone much better. Game started with 2 Ks by Corbin Burns, and then Mike Trout put one out. And that's just the Mike Trout thing to do. But he's the only one on the team that had a hit for the majority of the game. So if that's not very Angels of them, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
The man needs out of LA. That's just ridiculous. But we're talking about Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson, I think, is one of the best shortstop, third base combos. I think he's going to stay at shortstop, actually, even when Jackson Holiday comes up. I think Jackson Holiday is probably going to play second and take Jorge Mateo out of that position. Mateo was great last year, amazing speed, but he hasn't kept up with it. I want Jackson Holiday to play that second. But Gunnar Henderson has all of the tools to be an amazing player. He's young. He's batting first in an Orioles lineup that's stacked. Highly into it. Secondly, if he's healthy all year, Tyler Glasnow is a steal at 40.
Yeah.
40.0. A steal. He pitched today, and I have him on my roster, and he got 23 fantasy points,
Woo.
and that's with allowing a run and a couple hits. He's a strikeout machine. He's I think when healthy, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Number one.
Okay.
Number one. He's impossible to hit. But he's never fully healthy, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, I'll jump right into my negative then.
Yep, there you go.
And this is just because he has the biggest pitching contract in history with nothing to show for it. And that's Yamamoto, unfortunately. I have Yamamoto on my team. If you watch the Soul series, he got hit like crazy. And that is because his fastball has no movement.
Yep.
At all. It's straight as an arrow, and he's trying to live off his curveball, but you know it's coming when he can't throw his fastball. So unless he can get some two-seam tail, or a little bit of cut to his fastball, they're just going to keep destroying him. So he's got to make a change, and he hasn't made that change yet because he's only had one outing. So a little tough to endorse at 35.5 right now.
Yeah. All right. My negative, I don't want to say this name, but I had him last year. He didn't do the best last year, which I was hoping he was going to. Aaron Nola.
Worse, dude.
Bro.
I hate Aaron Nola.
It was a disappointing season last year when I had him. I thought when I drafted him, I thought it was going to be good for my team. Definitely was not one of his worst years. Gave up way too many home runs. But I don't know. I feel like he's a little over talked about. I think there's a little bit more pitchers in this draft that you can get before him that will help you out a little bit more. Now, it could be wrong. He could switch over and actually have a successful year this year. But we never know. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. We got something in the chat said, "What's up, you sexy gents? Having a heck of a day, opening day, huh, Derek?"
Yes, opening day. It's boosted. Who's it's boosted? Who are you?
I wonder. So we'll go into round 5 here.
Yep, here we go.
Round 5.
I'll go with my pick here. My go-to pick, which I actually picked him up in the draft, which I was happy I did. I think he's one of the better catchers in the league. Will Smith.
Knew it.
Yep, that's right. He had a homer today too, didn't he?
And he gets to add to the $1.4 billion in 4 players the Dodgers are paying for.
Talk about a contract. That man got the bag. Now, I hope it's not going to be one of those Trey Turner incidents where you get the bag and don't perform. But I don't see it out of Will. I hope he does well this year. He did really well last year. If you need a catcher, guys, other than Richardson, right? Or Hutcherson? Richardson?
Yeah,
Adley, yep. Other than him, Will Smith is definitely the other guy you want to pick up. So that is my go-to pick for this list.
I agree with that. I'm going to have to go with, for my pick, my positive is Ketel Marte, the best second baseman in baseball. He's a switch hitter. Not a lot to think about. On an improved Arizona offense, he's crazy, puts up crazy numbers. I think I have him in my slot right now, my second baseman shortstop slot, because I'm just super deep in the middle infield positions. I think I have the number 1 players for all of the middle infield, number 1s and 2s. So super excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's my pick for that. So I'll jump into my negative. My negative here between these guys would be Camilo Doval.
You stole mine.
I hate the Giants. I hate them. But I don't think he's a great relief pitcher. I think a lot of people – I think there's way more relief pitchers better than him. I don't know why people glaze on this man like crazy. 58.1 in a ballpark that I don't know. I think the ball can fly easily on the right field. So
Yep.
a lot of danger can be had. I don't believe in him.
Yep. Well, and that's another guy I had as well to look forward of not picking up. I mean, because he had a pretty off and on year last year. I mean, it took him until the final month to finally get 4 saves. Yeah. So he's been very inconsistent until the last part of the year. So I don't see him. I mean, hopefully it's a little better for him. Actually, not hopefully, because I'm not a Giants fan either. So
sounds like we agree on that one. So
yeah, absolutely.
we can move on to round 6 then.
Yep. Edwin Diaz. I'm already going to say it right now.
I feel it. I felt it coming.
Best closer in baseball? What do you think? Yes, no, or
Absolutely.
best? And best walkout song too.
Oh,
get the trumpets blaring, baby.
So good.
I mean, that's all you gotta say. Just say his name, play the song in the background. Nothing else to it. Pick up the man. He's a gem. Always will be, I think, until his time of retirement. That dude shuts it down. Him and his brother both. So, but he's definitely got the better athletic abilities than his brother did.
Love it. Moving into my pick, I have Michael Harris, the second outfielder for the Braves. When you are playing in the number 1 offense in the MLB, and you hit in the heart of the lineup, you're going to see huge things happen. And I think he's got the talent to be in that position. I know last year he had a great year. I think now he can make it an excellent, like an unbeatable year. And so as an outfielder, which is not a very deep position this year, 63.8 as his ADP, absolutely. Give me that all day.
Freaking-lutely. All right, the guy that I will say on in this is Dylan Cease. You know, I know he just got traded to I know he just got traded to the Padres. I hope it's better for him, but I had him a little bit last year for the White Sox. He was just inconsistent. He would have some spreads where there'd be couple starts. He'd have good games, but it was just up and down, up and down.
Going to stay the same for San Diego?
I don't know.
That's a small park, dude.
It is.
Small park.
I mean, I hope the best for him. I like him as a pitcher, but he struggled on my team last year, and it's just to me, it just gives me a little doubt for him. So it's one of those other players that he needs to prove me wrong, and I hope he does, because I don't mind the Padres.
I hope he does well too.
But that right now in this list, that's probably the guy I'm picking.
So I think there's an obvious answer for me, and that's Mr. Josh Hader.
Yep.
He did move teams. He is on the Astros. He is closing for the Astros, and he did get a bag. However, he got a bag last year with Padres, and we found out that when he gets money, he somehow just wants to go to McDonald's instead of play baseball. I don't know why he sucked so bad. Towards the end of the year, he started picking it up again, and I think that's why his draft position is where it is. But if he pitched the way he did the first half of the season, the whole season, he would be 12% rostered.
Yep.
Horrible year last year. So I don't see him improving a ton by just going to the Astros, unless they cheat again. But
yeah, right.
All right, round 7. We coming to a close here soon. Round 7. I'm going to start this one because you started the last one. Easy
Don't you
answer
dare.
for me here.
Don't you
Easy
dare.
answer.
Don't you dare.
You know who it is.
Don't you dare.
You know.
Just say it.
Mike Trout.
There it is.
It's Mike Trout. And it's Mike Trout even in the absence of having any help. Because the man's just going to do it himself. And I really think he has the incentive to not get injured and to stay off the IL this year. Because I think this is going to be a contract year for him. I know he's really loyal and he really wants to stay. But I think the Angels are going to have such a bad year. And he has to prove himself in order to get out. So, again, today, first at bat, doink. It was awesome. Super cool. I mean, I hope a lot of people are doubting Mike Trout. And as him not even being one of the best players in baseball, only because of his health. But when the man plays, his statistics are ridiculous. So, that's my pick.
Yep. And that's a great pick. But my next one, I will go with Cody Bellinger. Gotta rock with him. Gotta rock with him. Cubs fan all the way. And he signed back with the Cubs this year, which was a big pick for the Cubs to do. I think that is a better option than trading him away and getting someone probably below average. So Cody Bellinger, I think, will have another great year. Going to lead the Cubs again. And I see the Cubs winning their division. So hopefully they can do well. They're playing right now currently against the defending champs. But yeah, if you need an outfielder or first baseman, Cody Bellinger, look out for him again. It's going to be another good year.
Yeah, it moves into my negative, the person not to draft in round 7, and that's Yandy Diaz. I think Tampa Bay is tanking. I think they're tanking. I think they got rid of a lot of their talent. They were this make it to the finals team, and then all of a sudden to the World Series, and all of a sudden they just don't make it. They don't do what they need to do in the end. And then they've just sold all their players since then.
Yeah.
I heard they won out of Tampa. No one goes to the games. It's in a horrible place. I don't know. It's a sorry organization for me.
It is.
It really is. And Yandy Diaz, I mean, he's getting some competition with some of the rookies coming up. Junior Caminero plays third base and short, but I could honestly see him moving over to first base, especially since Yandy Diaz he's a great DH, but I don't know about a first baseman. There's too much talent there to be picking him this high at 72. So.
All right. You're going to have to help me with the last name. Randy.
Rosarena.
Yep. Very inconsistent last year. He got too much into the home run derby that he kind of suffered after. One of those sufferings after the home run derby. But, could change back again this year. I don't know. But it was one of those inconsistent moments again from last year that kind of is a thing where you got to prove yourself once again. But out of this list, I'd say Randy for sure. And chat, if you do have anything you want to say about some of these players, feel free. You're more than welcome to put it in the chat. We can talk about it.
Perfect. Round 8. Do you want to start this one? You want me to start?
You got it. I already know who you're going to say, so you got it.
I'm interested to see who you think I'm going to say.
I might be wrong then if that's the case.
Well, no, I want to know now.
Not Ellie, right? Ellie?
Not Ellie, no.
Or Brian?
I'm going with Adolis Garcia.
Oh, I was wrong on both.
I like the outfielders that I think have value here. And at 94.7, I think Adolis has that value in this position. He had 396 fantasy points last year, something like that.
Yep.
That's off of memory, so don't quote me. But he had a great last year.
He did.
If you read his story's amazing. The fact that he came from whatever country he's from, it's an amazing story. So read up on it. But he's huge this year. He put on a ton of muscle, even more. So I'm excited to watch him play, honestly. And I think he's going to have a lot more fantasy value as an outfielder that's not a deep position at 94.7. So.
Yep. Do you know who I'm picking?
Not Eflin.
Justin Steele, baby.
Yep.
Best pitcher on the Cubs. I'm gonna say it right now, and it's gonna be another great year, I think, for him again this year. If you need a pitcher, that is one that you should keep an eye on because other than some of these other pitchers, at least Justin is a little bit more consistent. And that's something you want out of a pitcher, especially when they're giving up a lot of runs or not giving up a lot of runs. So if you want a guy that is decently consistent, Justin Steele will help you out quite a bit.
Perfect. And what's your negative?
Negative would be Zach freaking Eflin.
Let's hear why.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because he got me -1 points today in pitching. I'm
telling you, Tampa's not the way to go, guys. I just really don't. I'm not betting high on Tampa this year.
Nope. I didn't mind Tampa. I still don't mind them. It's just like you said, it's been a rough ending of their years, the last couple of years. I mean, beginning to middle, they're good. They're good. It's just towards the end they don't get where they need to be. And yeah, if he has, I'm gonna give him one more shot on the mound. But if not, I'm dropping him.
He's droppable. I mean, Mine is Stephen Kwan, a guy that you picked up pretty high in our
Yep.
draft.
Yep.
Pretty high. So if you know Stephen Kwan, the man hits for batting average, and that's it. And
Yep.
that's what his value is that he hits crazy batting average. But we only have 1 year under our belt. Remember, he made his splash last year. So he's got a good year under his belt with a good batting average. However, can that continue? And can he hit for some power? I think both of those answers are no.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not betting on him.
Correct.
Round 9 of 10 of our little fantasy draft we got going on here.
Let's do it.
I'll go ahead and start this one. I got this one. Don't you worry.
You got this.
I'm going to go with a positive for this team and go with Blake Snell.
Okay.
Oftentimes you see pitchers that just won the Cy Young fall off hard.
Yep.
That's generally how it goes. But average draft of 102 for the previous Cy Young, I think his value's higher than that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm sitting at with this. I think his value is much higher than 102. Is he the best pitcher you can get? No. But is his value better than 102? Absolutely. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. My pick on this one would be sitting at 82, Xander Bogaerts. He already played a game, and guess what, guys? He's already averaging 444. I get it. One game, whatever. You can have a good game. But I did see some highlights, and he was seeing the ball pretty well. He had 3 runs with 3 RBIs already, a total of 9 fantasy points. If you are looking for a shortstop, that is a good one to get in the later rounds. Definitely not an early rounder. There's still some shortstops out there that I think are better. But if you need someone later on in the rounds, that is a good pickup for sure. He's one of those hidden gems. Could be a hidden gem. He was off and on last year, but if this year changes around like he has in the first game, it could be a good pickup for you guys.
And your negative?
Chris Bassett.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that my negative. I had him a little bit last year, and he gave me, I think, the most points he gave me in a game was 10. I kid you not. He was very, and it was later on the year, I get it, but it was one of those guys where I needed to find a pitcher that was at least somewhat consistent, and he was definitely not that. He could change around this year, I don't know, but going off of how it was last year, that is one I will not pick up.
Agreed. I think mine's easy here. It's Jordan Romano. A couple years ago, Jordan Romano was the best closer in baseball. And he went to Toronto and grew a stupid little beard. And he just puts up negative numbers like it's candy. I'm sick of watching it. I'm sick of watching him throw, to be quite honest. He's dropped so many games for Toronto that it's upsetting. I hope he finds his fastball. I hope so, because I do like the Blue Jays. I have a Blue Jays jersey. Jose Reyes, thank you very much. But for right now, absolutely not. Not at this position. There's better people. David Bednar beneath him is a much better pick even than Romano. So not going to happen for me.
All righty.
And
move to the last one.
Round 10. I'll start out. I have 2 people again here. I apologize. Maybe you start out because I have 2 people.
I'm looking through the list currently right now. One guy I would pick up would probably be Brandon Nimmo. Is that Nemo? Is that right?
Nimmo. Mm-hmm.
Very, very consistent guy. I mean, he'll probably get you about 2 to 4 points per game. I mean, there'll be, of course, some times where he won't. But he's one of those guys where he doesn't give you crazy points every game, but he just gives you, those mediocre points, that you can live with. That fills in some of the gaps for the other guys. So that's one guy that he likes to. He's a good on base batter. Okay, he doesn't go for home runs. He just goes for singles and doubles. So he can definitely make contact with the ball.
Love it. I got 2 people here. Number 1 being Ha-Sung Kim. I have Ha-Sung Kim in a lot of my drafts.
That was my other one.
He's got 3 position value right now. And if you play MLB The Show, the dude's probably going to get a diamond soon in MLB The Show. He will get you 2 fantasy points every game. So the man's just consistent because he just gets base hits every game. So really, it's just the law of large numbers. You can get a guy like Mike Trout that'll get you 7 one game and -2 the next. But when you get a guy that gets 2 every single game, he just puts up crazy value for your team.
Yep.
He just does, and that's just how it goes. Secondly, I'm picking Evan Carter here, outfielder for the Rangers. He's a rookie this year, technically, because he started last year during the World Series. He was the best hitter during the World Series, if you remember.
That is true. I do, yep.
And so, crazy power, crazy pop in a crazy lineup. Absolutely, give me Evan Carter. Absolutely. So
this guy, it's weird to say, but I'm gonna go Chris Sale
as a negative.
As a negative, I mean, he just came off of injury, correct?
He did.
And it's until he proves, it's one of those things. Until he proves himself, I wouldn't put him in the lineup. He's been out for a good amount of time, so to see him throw once more and see kind of how it is, I would wait.
Perfect. I think mine's easy here. That's Mr. 100 down at the bottom. It's Shane Bieber. He's coming off he came back last year after being hurt. And when he came back, his fastball velocity dropped, his curveball spin rate dropped, everything dropped, and he was getting hit all the time. He looked like he was not that top person that he used to be. He used to have crazy stuff. Actually, 3 years ago, he was like top 3 pitcher taken off the board. So it's sad that he's gotten to where he is now, but unfortunately we're there. And so I'm interested to see how the offseason has worked for him, how much he's been able to get in the gym and beef up his muscles a little bit. But he looked weak last time I saw him.
Yep.
So
I'd agree with that.
Perfect. So that moves us into our rookie prospect talk.
Top prospects, baby.
So are you going to put them up on the screen?
It is on the screen right now.
Perfect. I'll wait until those come up. So right here we have a list of the top 10 prospects, and I threw in a couple at the bottom as well because you need to be on the lookout for them. First guy I want to talk about is number 1 prospect. That's Jackson Holliday for the Baltimore Orioles right here, baby. Jackson Holliday will be playing second base when he gets to the big leagues, just because Gunnar Henderson's going to fill that shortstop spot. He was told that he will be starting off in AAA for the year. If you watched him play in spring training, if you watched him play at all in any of his YouTube videos, he is the best player, best prospect in baseball, 100%. He's amazing, incredible skill. So be on the lookout for him. Secondly, we'll jump down to Jackson Chourio. If you haven't heard the name, you will. Jackson Chourio has not played in the MLB yet. However, Jackson Chourio just signed an $82 million 8-year deal with the Brewers. That's never happened. That's never happened for a rookie to sign when he's never played in the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not like this guy's from Japan and has proven himself there. This guy's hasn't played in the MLB. He's not played organized baseball like that. He's played in the minors. It's crazy that even happened, but he's amazing. Unfortunately, the Brewers suck and they're tanking, and they got rid of all their best players. So,
thankfully.
Sad, yeah, because you're a Central guy. I am too, but thirdly, we have Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn's boyfriend. Plays for the Pirates. It says AA, but he'll probably be starting in AAA. He might throw a couple games in AA just because of competition. Might be a little firmer around there. But he will be up this season. Mark my words, mark everybody's words. He's 6'6", 235. He throws a crazy fastball, like 102.
Yeah, he was clocking at 102, wasn't he?
Crazy talent. Won the national championship in Omaha for LSU. Amazing player. You watched Paul Skeens play in Omaha, right?
Yep, and Dylan.
Yep, and Dylan, correct.
And Wyatt.
Yes. Yep, and so 4 we'll have Junior Caminero. So again, this is that Tampa Bay Rays guy. AAA, I think he's going to come up and take either Yandy Diaz or one of those corner positions. I really do. And that shortstop position is open since what's his name was texting little girls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I can't think of his name right now.
His name's not coming to me right now, but just because I forgot about him completely once it happened.
Yep.
Horrible guy. Glad he's gone now after hearing that news. So at 5, we have Evan Carter. Evan Carter, as we talked about, will be starting in the MLB. Texas Rangers in the heart of the lineup. Best player in the World Series last year.
Absolutely.
We can jump right down to Wyatt Langford, who it says AAA. He will be starting. He is starting today against the Cubs in the MLB. Looks like you have the updated one online. So yep. Wyatt Langford was the best player in spring training. Number 1, he had the best batting average, most home runs, everything. He was well worth the draft pick. He's 23, 22 years old, super young.
Great talent.
And he brings a ton of pop and huge biceps. So
go Gators.
For him. Yeah, go Gators, baby. Then we got Dylan Cruz, arguably the best player of all time in college for the Nationals, which is a sorry team, but they have some good talent coming up. Looks like he'll be starting at AA. Kind of sad for them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll go ahead and talk about these other ones real quick. Ethan Salas, 17-year-old catcher for the Padres. Don't know his name, write it down. He is awesome. I hope they call him up because their catcher's history in Padres sucks. So, yeah. 17-year-old to play and catch, Yu Darvish. How crazy is that? He's already catching him in bullpens, and he looks amazing. Super cool guy. Colson Montgomery, shortstop for the White Sox. If you play MLB The Show, you know what I'm talking about. Colson hits bombs, dog. Especially with the Byron Buxton third-tier boost. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, look at chat, by the way.
His favorite musical note is... yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We're going to go ahead and jump to 12 because 10, Walker Jenkins, I think is irrelevant. I don't think he should be at 10. I don't know. Some people talk about him, but not me. 12, Jackson Merrill for the Padres. He plays shortstop and outfield. One of the best prospects in baseball, but one of the best people in spring training. Again, he will be starting in the MLB. Did today for the Padres. Amazing talent. Keep your eye on him. Max Clark, who's from Franklin, Indiana, will be starting in Single A for the Detroit Tigers. Just because he's so young, they just kind of want to give him a little bit more looks because he never went to college. So 19-year-old Single A, that's probably where he'll be. Probably won't touch the MLB this year.
No.
Probably make it to double or triple. But
he's pretty fast,
I'm super excited about last, Mr. James Wood. If you watched spring training, this 6'6", 230-pounder.
That is huge.
Put balls gonzo. Dude, he hits bombs, okay? And if they're low in the zone, it looks like he doesn't even try. That's amazing. They have good outfield talent for the Nationals coming up. Hopefully they bring them up because the Nationals suck right now. So, because they're still paying Steven Strasburg millions of dollars to never throw a baseball again.
Yep.
So that wraps up our rookie prospects and our show in general.
Yes, sir. Chat, you got any questions on anyone that you are thinking about picking up that you're just not sure of or stuff like that? Now is the time to ask. If not, we can close out and we'll be back probably next week. We'll give it like a minute since it's a little delayed. So yeah, opening day, Cubs and Rangers are tied 1-1 right now in the 5th.
Yep, and if you watch baseball at all today, good games, man. Baltimore killed Cincinnati 8-2 to Washington, just as you'd expect. San Diego beat San Francisco, thank God, 6-4. Dodgers look crazy. The big three, Freeman, Betts, Ohtani, all getting hits, not all of them getting homers, but the majority of them.
Yep.
Ohtani did have a base running mistake, which he needs to clean up now. But Toronto beat Tampa Bay 8-2. Minnesota beat Kansas City 4-1, which I wanted Kansas City to win that one. I like Kansas City. Detroit beat the White Sox, thank God, 1-0. Pittsburgh beat Miami, thank God, 6-5. New York Yankees beat Houston 5-4, thank God.
Yep.
A throw from Juan Soto from right field.
Who you have winning the possibly winning the World Series this year? Who's your pick as of now before any of the games are too official?
I think it's Rangers and Orioles.
Rangers and Orioles. I would like to see the Orioles do well. They used to do well, but I was talking to my dad about it actually today, and he was saying, yeah, the Orioles used to be really, really good back in the day.
I really think they have a lot of talent. I don't think the Yankees are going to come close. I really don't. After watching them play, they just look weak, and all it takes is one injury for them. But the Orioles are deep. They have a lot of people to call up. Like, I watched the video today, and they have 7 or 8 prospects that could be starting right now. And so they are deep. And the Rangers are amazing. Braves are amazing, and Dodgers are amazing. So any of those 4 teams will be in the World Series. You can mark that down right now.
There you go. There you have it, guys. Since they're Cubs all the way. Yes, let's go, Ian. I agree.
World Series Cubs.
Yeah, baby. Woo! I'm not going to show you the back of the jersey because,
Go Dogs.
It's Baez. Baez isn't any longer. So, but yeah, that should be the wrap of the show. Since there's no more questions, but until then, guys, we will see you guys next week, and hope you guys have a great opening day watching all these games tonight, and tune in next week. We'll catch y'all later.